Hello everybody. So today we are going to be going over how to pick what opening is right for you. And while there is no right answer, there are very many wrong answers. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off with the wrong answer, we are going to be going over how to get destroyed. Pulls made. If you are an idiot, then this opening is right for you. But if you're not and you're an normal human being, just play e4. Unless you're ultra defensive and everything, but we're not going to be getting into the defensive part today. Today, we are going to just be presenting you, the viewers, with some opening choices regarding e4. If you're into d4 or c4, or you prefer the Reti opening, then I highly recommend that you click off this video immediately. Let's say e4, e5, right? Most common position in chess. Say you want to play the Italian game. Perhaps you're looking for a fried liver attack. Right? Because that can happen. So, if instead this is what you're looking for, you know, get your first brilliant instead of getting checkmated in one move, then I'm all for that. Right? Early checkmate. Or instead, if you would like to cover a different line, like bishop c5, Goko piano, then you can play the Evans Gambit, you know? Then when black takes the pawn, which it almost surely will, just play c3. It will probably go back, takes, and you have a very, very charming position in the center. They'll often throw in this check. That's going to be fine for you. Just block the bishop, and you're going to be alright. And so, yep, Evans Gambit might not be for you. Might be too positional, you know? So instead, maybe don't play the Italian game at all. Maybe you want to play something more conventional, like the Scotch. Now, instead of the Scotch game, what I'm recommending is you play the Scotch Gambit. Stockfish hates it. But it's great. It's great anyways. I mean, take a look. It's so easy to get a nice little brilliant move here. Look. You have so many little things you can do here. If this happens, there's this. You just castle, you have a great position, your opponent can't castle. This pawn can't even be taken because this goes here and he's just fucked. Right? So we're going to be going over underline and the Scotch Gambit. So what if he plays the Dubois Reti defense, which is knight to f6? Now you're going to castle. Now the most common move is this, which is this max lange thing, and everybody hates that. But the good news is, after e5, you will basically be transposing. right? Because if c3, then this happens, then boom, 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 and you're winning back material, you're going to be all right. And now what if they play a different knight move, like here? Watch the evaluation. Rook e1, it's trapped. That could be great if you're facing beginners. In fact, Scotch Gambit is great at all levels, but I mean, that's exemplified in my game with Stockfish. Drawn. But say you're not too interested in all that. Play bishop c4. Now, if bishop c5, what you can do is play d4. Now, if your opponent decides to take with the pawn, that is a horrible, horrible idea for him. Bishop takes f7. This is an easy, brilliant move, because after or takes, say g6, that's the best move. Then you can either just win back egg this thing, or try some intermezzo with queen e5, and you're gonna be all right there. So those are all just openings for e4, e5. Now, I don't mean to overwhelm you with information. It's been 6 minutes and we've already covered 3 openings, and I'm sure I'm talking very fast. But I assume that's quite alright with you. What if he doesn't play e5? I simply just don't want to make this an hour-long video, so I'm not covering all the lines. What if he plays e6? In that case, I only really know one great gambit around this. This is just what I think you should play. So, takes. You don't take back. Queen to a4. Right? So now if he blocks with here, you play queen to b3, and you're probably wondering why you didn't just go queen b3 earlier. We just gave him development. Well, now you diverted his defense of the pawn on b7. So now what he takes, which is, I believe, the best move, and the most likely, you play bishop c4. Now, queen f6 is the only way he has to stop you. But surprisingly, the most common move is queen to e7, which loses on the spot. Well, but he can defend with a bishop. No, he can't. So after queen c8, queen d8 is literally forced. You sacrifice the bishop. If he takes, he wins the queen. Now, if you're wondering why the hell he'd do that, and why wouldn't he just move up, well, congratulations, that's a checkmate. Actually, I had a guy fall for that. Also, trophy. It's just tournament. Finally arrived. Anyways. e4, c6. Very annoying, right? If you play d4, he plays d5, there are a couple options for you. If you're a beginner, or you're looking for something more solid, then you should play the advanced variation. Because after bishop f5, which is the most common move, and the best, what I like to do is I play h4 in this position. Because now, If you place e6, look at this. The bishop's trapped. It's trapped. Because now, wherever it goes, your pawns can always chase it, and it will have to eventually sacrifice itself for a pawn. And you are going to be up material from the start. Now let's just say that material is not enough for you, and you still want to face the Caro-Kann. That's alright. If you want to be a little more dubious, you can play the Von Hennig Gambit and allow your opponent to defend this pawn. Allow him to hang on to it. Now, f3 takes, and bishop g4. Bishop g4 is a blunder. I reached this position with a 2600 bullet player, if you'd like to see. So this does work at most levels, although some will study it. Right, knight to e5 is the move that you want to play. Now it's actually very funny. Your opponent can take the queen, but that's just checkmate. And so the most common move is to attempt to defend the checkmate with bishop to h5, completely forgetting that white can re-sacrifice the queen. Because now, if takes, checkmate. Now you've checkmated in 9 moves, and that'll work on most people up to about 1600. Now, say your opponent likes to play the Paired defense, d6. Then this is the most common line. You're just going to be doing something like all this. Mix up my lines there, sorry. Then, and he's just going to fianchetto the bishop, and that's going to be fine. But not really, right? So there's here, and then if he castles, what you can do is, after takes, he no longer has that bishop as an asset, and now you're just doing very, very well. You're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on him, you're in a pawn storm, and you're just going to castle queenside most likely, right? And so you're just going to have massive attack, and it's going to be great. And even though material's equal, the evaluation is plus 1.5. And this is actually a pretty easy position to reach from the Paired defense. Now, if none of that suits your fancy, and you just want to completely throw your opponents off for someone one-off gambit, b4. 3-5. Just bishop b2, and you are getting your opponent completely out of opening theory, and maybe they'll even take your bishop here. And now you've won a rook. And there's really just not going to be anything to it. So I suppose that's my video. Now just pick from any of the options considered, with the sole exception of the fool's mate thing I showed off. And as always, this has been Blundered Games. Thank you.